So you're single.
Correct, I'm not married.
All right. You have any children?
No.
How long have you been in your relationship?
About 4 months.
About 4 months. Do you want to be married one day?
Yes.
Okay. How much are you going to charge for your submission?
Submission in my lifestyle is trust and being a provider. So
Trust and being a what?
you want a number on it?
No. You said in your submission, you said it's the trust in being a provider.
Yes, being a head of the household, like I just expect him to lead and me be able to trust his word.
Yeah, but how much are you going to charge for that?
I'm gonna charge what it takes to
No. Give us a number, an annual number. How much are you going to charge annually for your submission?
our mortgage.
Okay, I don't. Okay, I'm trying to be respectful. You know what I'm asking. Why are you resisting answering the question as it's asked?
I personally feel like it's the number on it is the rent or the mortgage in the home. Personally, we have to put a number on it. We're putting the rent, the mortgage of the home on it.
You don't. Okay. How much is rent or mortgage?
Let's say,
It depends on where you live.
of course.
See,
So let's say,
the reason this question is effective, gentlemen, is because it makes women actually ask, and you see how they squirm. You're squirming, and I'm just asking, how much are you going to charge? Meaning, how much does your man have to make annually for you to choose to be submissive to him?
over 6 figures.
What does that mean, ma'am? Over 6 figures?
Over $100,000.
All right. I'm really trying to be patient. I'm about to not be.
Okay.
And if that happens, it won't be because I haven't tried.
I understand.
Over 6 figures. Put it in a ballpark, ma'am, an approximation.
Approximately.
No, ma'am, give me a number. Round it to the nearest $10,000.
Let's say $250,000 a year.
What state do you live in?
Florida.
What city?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
City?
Miami.
Okay. Do you want children?
Yes.
How many?
2.
Do you want to be a housewife or do you want to have to work?
I work, but
Do you want to be a housewife or do you want to have to work?
I'd like to be a housewife.
Okay. $250,000 in Florida don't go very far with family of 5.
Correct.
Okay.
But I do make.
Housewife don't make nothing. Now, all I'm asking is, see, this is a good question for you guys to ask women because you see how they're trying to do the calculations, and what they're really saying is, I charge a hell of a lot of money to submit, but I don't want to say it because it sounds bad.
Right.
But y'all don't mind charging it.
I would like a financially stable man. I personally have set that tone. I want a man that makes a certain level of income so I can cook and be in my feminine place.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you. Okay, so like I said earlier, when I was talking to people, how did you set your price? How did you set your price? Yeah, so you said you would like a man who does X, Y, and Z. How did you set that number?
How did I set that number? I looked at the cost of living where I live and what I make and what I would want from my man to make from the very first date.
And you're 27?
Yes.
Did you go to college?
Yes.
What's your degree in?
Communication and
Oh. God damn it. What do you do for a profession?
I would do e-commerce. I own e-commerce brands doing around 7 to 8 figures a year.
Uh-huh. So you set your femininity price based upon what you want your man to make based upon your income.
No. Well, yes and no, because I'm not looking for a man to make equal or greater income, but I am looking for him to make enough.
Ma'am, you want to be a housewife. He has to make more money.
Well, he has to make enough for the lifestyle I'm looking for.
Right. And what is that? A Lux lifestyle?
At least $250,000.
$250,000 a year today with no children. That's what you're not adding.
Yes.
See, what they're basically, no offense, but y'all don't think about anything else other than yourselves. He has a lifestyle. He has to pay for your lifestyle, and he has to pay for these kids. So how much is he going to need to make to replace your income?
Probably double that, honestly.
Well,
Being realistic.
Well, if you're a business person and you're charging for your feminine submission, don't you think you should know how much a man needs to make to afford it? Because you said 250, and I just said not Miami, but you're talking like a single woman, but you're on the market.
I was being modest, but
And I wasn't being modest. Modest. I just don't think you were given the number, factoring in kids and what it's going to cost.
correct.
So how much is a man going to need to make then for your submission?
At least 7 figures in a Miami lifestyle with 2 children.
7 figures. What does your mother and father do for a living?
My dad buys and sells private jets and refurbishes them.
What did your mom do?
My mom was a traditional housewife.
Okay. Did your mother raise you to be a traditional housewife?
Yes. I was raised to cook. No matter what time it is, I will say that I was raised to cook.
Traditional housewives don't run e-commerce businesses.
Correct.
Traditional housewives generally are married before 25.
Correct. I don't know why I paused.
Traditional housewives are generally married before 25.
There you go. Correct.
And then what ethnicity do you want your husband to be?
Definitely a minority. Probably.
Oh, goddamn. I said ethnicity. Why can't y'all answer? A minority.
Ethnicity would be
Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or other. Which one do you prefer, man?
preferably black.
Now, I want you guys to understand something. Men are very simple communicators, direct. And I want you guys to go through my videos and listen to how many times I ask a direct question and I get some vague bullshit indirect answer. This is the technique women typically do to try to frustrate men to get out of our frame. It's a control tactic. It's what girls learn in order to, and it's when they learn this as little girls to exert their influence. You know exactly what you're doing. I'm just calling it out. It's not cute. It's not funny. It's really not. But I'll do this because you think you're getting something out of it. But you know the question I'm asking. I asked you the ethnicity. Am I more a minority? When you said,
I prefer a black man.
then why not just say that first?
Getting more comfortable, so
Excuse me?
I said I'm getting more comfortable. So
Are you black?
yes,
Then why not just say black?
you're right. Black man making over $1 million.
Right. How many of those in this country?
Less than 1%.
Give me a number.
Number probably less than 10,000. Probably a very small number.
Yeah, very small. How old do you think they typically are?
Over 25. I think that's a good range for a man making 7 figures.
At what age does a man hit his financial stride? At what
30. You tell me.
Well, ma'am, you said your mom raised you to be a traditional housewife, and you said your dad sold and bought jets. If you were raised to live in this lifestyle, I would think you would understand the economics behind it, the setup behind it. But as we talk, you were raised to be a modern woman because you're talking like one. You have a business, you want this lifestyle, lux lifestyle, and you don't even understand. You don't speak like a woman who understands who these men are. You just know what they have. 45 to 55 is when a man hits his financial stride. So you're comfortable. Excuse me?
In 2022, when there's so many different avenues.
Use the census yourself. That's what it is, ma'am. How do men legally make so much money early in their career?
Tech companies.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, and that's what I want you guys to understand. I'm saying it. I want you ladies, I'm glad you said that, because you don't think you mean this, but y'all ladies, women, y'all think it's just magic. Y'all think that it's just because technology exists that all of a sudden the structural limitations on higher income just went away. Just because the internet exists, smartphones, Google, crypto, and technology, does that change the percentage of men at the top?
I don't feel like it changes the percentage. I feel like it changes the age.
No, it doesn't. Not appreciably. Because what profession? Okay. Shaq just sold his house. 76,000 square foot house. Shaq, you know who he is, right? Big Diesel. What profession do you think, what was the profession of the person who purchased that home? What do you think it was?
Tech. Anything internet based.
His fucking house was bought by a dentist.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
And that's the problem. You want men in this category you don't know. It's like Chris Rock. I live where I live in the gated community. My next door neighbor is a dentist. What professions, what are some of the top 10 highest earning professions in this country?
In this country, from what I was aware of, I did think it was Silicon Valley type professions, things that were software companies.
That's one industry. What other ones?
What other ones? E-commerce brands, e-commerce owners. And then obviously then you have people in the medical field, and then you have people in oil and motor and things like that, or even just automotive.
Have you ever dated a millionaire?
I have.
Seriously? Vetted you for marriage?
It didn't get that far because of my lack of submission.
But I thought you were raised to be a traditional housewife.
But I had to go to therapy. I had to learn a little bit how to take a step back and be in my feminine place. I'm not going to sit here like I didn't have an ego problem when I first started making money, like a lot of weak women.
And you think that's worth $1 million?
I think that going to therapy and understanding as a woman I need to change is worth $1 million, yes.
There's a McLaren, but the motor blew up. And the transmission got locked. And it was involved in a wreck. But because he took it to the mechanic and it made it look and almost like new, it's worth brand new prices.
I feel like you're comparing that situation if I had a child or I was...
No, I'm comparing the situation that you're 27, you've got a lot of ego. Fine, cool. But that runs out because pretty is a dime a dozen in this world. There are plenty of pretty women who are married to dudes who sell insurance, men who sell insurance. Men who make the kind of money you're talking about, what do they want more than anything else?
For me to make their life easier.
They want cooperation and peace, but are you peaceful?
Very peaceful. That's happened. That's come up with time. That's definitely come up with time.
So I want you folks to understand that $1 million is an insane amount of money to put on but you're fine. But in order to get that, you have to understand who these men are. And I've just showed you that you really don't understand what they do. So how are you going to be around these men if you don't know what they do? You don't know their environment. That means to me, you haven't studied these men at all. So how are you really going to provide any peace to a subject you are ignorant about?
I'm going to take a step back and understand the environment that I want to be in and what I can bring to the table to make $1 million man.
Yeah, what if you get a man that's making about 55 to 75?
I'm not doing that.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Cool.
I feel like I can have a standard. I don't have to.
You can have it. No. See, the funny thing is when women do that, when we say you have standards, it's supposed to be okay. But if a man were to say something about weight, then it's toxic. Your $1 million standard, you can have whatever you want, but you're 27. And the reality is, competition is fierce for a very select few. For a few men, you don't know what they do. You don't know where they are. You don't know their profession. And why I'm doing this is because you said you were raised to be this way. Raised to be a traditional housewife. There's nothing traditional about you. You're a straight modern woman. And modern women, especially attractive women, end up getting flued out, wined and dined until they're 30. Then we move on to the 25-year-old version of you. That's what happens because you don't capitalize on the things you were taught or you knew in your youth because you were trying to hold out for a better deal, not realizing that you're not the prize. He is. That's what happens. And Miami is ground zero. So you should see this. So how has living in Miami helped you better land a millionaire?
I can definitely say I've seen more of a more financial, environment of those types of men. But again, the men in those professions that you're speaking of aren't living in Miami. They're living in probably Boca or Fort Lauderdale.
Ma'am, men, the top paying professions are medical, not tech. Why am I doing this, folks? Because you're whether you understand or not, you're pretty emblematic of many women today. You want an extreme amount of money. Is your father a millionaire?
Yes.
Was he a millionaire at 25?
29.
Mm-hmm. And you said you did have a $1 million guy, but so top 20 jobs: software developer, dentist, like I said 3 effing times, lawyer. Excuse me?
We're both right.
No, we're not both right. No, we're not both right.
But we have.
You said tech, ma'am. You said tech. Today women want to use tech to mean anything that has to do with a computer. That's not tech. NFTs and crypto is not tech. This is sign language. This is why right here, and I want you to understand, what you just saw, therapy didn't work because you're still trying to be right.
I thought we could both be right, but
Okay, but the difference is you're the one that's still trying to land the guy. I'm the one that talks to the guys who look at you ladies and say, I'm not going to give her, no. She may be cute, but she's too unmanageable. Even the way she talked to you. Because you got to understand, the kind of man you're talking about, he has to bring around his colleagues, his clients. And this little back and forth that you've done here would fuck up a lot of money.
would never do that.
Okay, of course not. Remember, my pit bull never bites anybody. That's what it always is. Software developer, dentist, lawyer, surgeon, physician, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, financial manager, information security, psychiatrist, data scientist, pharmacist, registered nurse, statistician, sales management. And there get even more. But most of the high earning positions in this country require professional licensing. And the reason people do this tech shit is because tech is this vague stuff that anybody can do and make 6 figures. And they think because you can make 6 figures, it can turn into 7, and it fucking doesn't. It requires certifications, professional schooling, and then it requires long hours networking. How in the hell are you going to be a wife and run $1 million business and marry a man that has to work 16 hours?
You're right. I'm gonna have to take a step back and be.
No, you're going to have to buy a French Bulldog, Shar-Pei, Schnauzer. That's much more likely. Because the men that you would naturally fit with, because million is extremely high, man. You know, I would put you in the top 15 or 10%, but not million. That's a very different category. And those guys, you would think are beneath you. If a guy made $85,000, you'd be thinking he's beneath you.
I wouldn't consider him beneath me. I feel like I would have a hard time trusting his ability to provide for our children and our home.
So what's more important, people or your lifestyle?
The ability to provide, so people.
No, ma'am. If a man is making $85,000, he can provide. He just can't provide a luxe lifestyle. I asked the question exactly how I asked it.
Right. So money is going to be over for the lifestyle I'm looking for.
No. What's likely going to happen, because you can, if I put you in the room with these men, they would find you attractive. But let's go down that path. Are you okay with sharing?
Sharing my relationship.
Oh, yes, for sure. 100%.
No.
So, you want a millionaire. And you want excuse me. You want a millionaire. Because I asked you what's more important, people, relationships, or money. And at least you're aware enough to know, and I'm not going to call you shallow, but people will call it vain. That's cool. A lot of attractive women really are vain because you get shit given to you because you have pretty privilege. But I crisscross this country talking to women who are as attractive or more, who are single as hell. Matter of fact, they are headquartered in 5 cities: Los Angeles, Houston, Chicago, New York City, and Miami. Pretty professional prison. The men that, if your ego was in check, you would more likely be able to get with a guy who's top 15, top 10% earner, but you don't trust his ability to provide. He's in the top 15 or 10%, but he cannot provide Dior or Hermes. But if that's what you require, please, why should that man only have one woman?
Because I wouldn't ask him to drink out of the same water bottle another man drank out of.
Stop trying to be cute. And no. When have men in the top 1% in any monetary system, any system of government, any country, any time frame on the planet been strictly monogamous?
You're right. There's not a lot of monopoly left and a lot of.
No. Not in top 1% men. When have men who are royalty or nobles ever been strictly monogamous?
We're not seeing it, no.
So then why do you get it?
In this day and age, it's a very high chance I'm not going to get it, but I do like to believe in hope that I can.
So you want to set yourself up for failure? Because if put you in a room with the guy who's making $80,000 and you wouldn't trust his ability to provide, then put you in a room with a 7-figure man and he says straight up, "Oh, you could be my wife, but I am going to have 1 or 2 women on the side." You'll know about them.
At least we're getting honest.
Oh no, we're going to be real honest, because here's the question: can you roll with it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I could pull up some women right now that I've talked to about this concept for several months, who who women you would say she got far more than me, and they accept it. I've learned this from these women. So, ma'am, I'm asking you, if you want these millionaire men, cool, let's roll down there. You don't get strict monogamy.
You're right. In 99.9% of situations, we're not going to do it.
So you're still holding out for the 1%? You still trying to hold out for the 0.1%?
No.
Is it better to get the lifestyle you want and have to share your man, have no man, or have to decrease your lifestyle?
I do feel like it's better to share my man and have my lifestyle and my family. Yes, I do. I would take that over being alone. Come on.
No, I don't know, because the way you're talking, you want it all.
No, I would settle. If I had to settle, I would settle for my family and my lifestyle with a high.
What would you be settling for? Why?
Sharing.
Ma'am, he's the asset, not you. He'd be selling for you. See, that's the women who get with these men. They have that. They understand that's the bag.
That's the catch.
But you, and I'm no offense, but what tends to happen with attractive women is you get so much attention. You think that men at this level, and you think you can treat all the men at the same level. And I'm sitting here talking, I'm like, dear heart, I know the men you're talking about. And they're like, yeah, I'd kick it with her for a little bit. I'd spend 30, 50 on it, and then I'm out. They're not going to try to manage this. They're not going to work with you. They're not going to try to train you up. They're going to just go ahead and 1099 girlfriend you out. Here you go, baby girl. Here's your severance package. What's your friend's name or your sister? I'm not joking. I'm dead ass serious. I'm dead ass serious. And you can collect Birkin bags and Mitzvahs and all other kind of stuff and Kelly purses and Chanel bags. You can collect all that stuff. But at 30 years old, if you have not secured, well, actually it's 27. If you haven't secured him, you're going to have to start making discounts. So.
And the discount being monogamy?
Oh, with $1 million man, you can automatically write that off. You would be better off understanding that at best, you'd be lucky if you could get a man like that to marry you. So that should be where you set your limit. Whatever he does, he marries me, I'm good. Whatever he does, that's fine. That would be a better attitude other than trying to control what he's doing. Because what you've demonstrated here is your tolerance for anything other than that doesn't exist. So it's either that or nothing. You know what's extremely sad? 55-year-old used to be pretty women. And there are a lot of them.
I would take my family and my lifestyle over monogamy.
That's a better mindset to be in, but then you still got to get him. And what we've shown is you don't know them, so how are you going to get them? They're not even in your social circle. And when I actually start, and here's the funny thing, in these focus groups, and I'm going to tell you, when I start putting these men on camera and they start telling you themselves, you'll see it. When you start hearing that you're not even in the places where they are. And I'll tell you how I know that, because as soon as you said the age range, you're out.